ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Monday, August 11th. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Hey, good to be back with you. Had to take some time off last week. They don't let me stack that and use it any old time, so I had to get some time off. Glad that I can be back with you. Let's get this thing started. Our text line, back again, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're just that much closer. And I see the whole beauty of this. You take a week off, you come back, and now we're just that much closer to the start of football season with the Thundering Herd getting closer to its kickoff against Georgia. Some interesting things happen while I was away. I see we got the schedule for the conference side for both the men and the women. Soccer's looking pretty good. Lots of people are excited for soccer, so that's something we've got to look forward to. And, of course, I can't wait to get your text. So we'll do that this hour. And, again, I really want to hear from you because we haven't done this in a while. And, again, if you don't have that number programmed in, it's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So a lot of things happened while I was gone. The one thing that interested me a lot was how we're going to be watching ESPN in the future with the new standalone app that's going to be just called ESPN. And then today I saw where Fox One is going to be bundled with that app, and that's pretty cool. If you want to just have a sports app, if you're kind of cutting the cord from cable or satellite, you just want to have a sports app, I think it's like $29.99. That's going to be available later on this year, so you might have to hold off on that because right now they're just doing the individual sign-ups for the ESPN app and then the Fox One app. Wait till the bundle if you're going to get them both. I know that might be hard, so if you got satellite, you're going to be fine. You can also log into this thing. I still have satellite, so I'm happy. I get to log into this thing. I'll have that, and it'll probably be a nice complimentary package next to ESPN Plus. Still curious how that's going to work. If I get Plus, because I'm grandfathered in one of those plans, so if you're grandfathered in on Plus, stay with that for a while. It might turn out to be beneficial for you, but I'm in that because Disney likes those bundles. So I've got that bundle, and you can suspend that subscription now and then and get right back to it, and that's kind of what I've done. You know, I didn't need it for the last few months, but that's going to be interesting. And then I saw where WWE is moving its live premium event, their pay-per-views. Basically what that is. They're moving their pay-per-views, their live premium events over to the ESPN app, and that's going to start next year, and that's coming off Peacock. And I was off social media for the most part, but I get notifications now and then, and people were losing their mind. I didn't know how many wrestling fans I actually had, that could trigger notifications. And people were losing their mind because they're on Peacock right now. And if you've done it right, I've done it right, I get Peacock for free because of my cable package. And I'm talking about internet cable package. So I get that for free right now. And I saw where the UFC pay-per-views are going away. They're going to be now on Peacock. No, I'm sorry. It's Paramount. It's Paramount Plus. My mistake. Paramount Plus is going to carry those things. And so if you've got a Paramount Plus subscription, you can watch all of that. If you've got the ESPN subscription, which I'm sure most of you do, or if you're going to get it, you'll be able to watch some of those other events. I kind of want at a reasonable price, one bundle that serves all needs, sort of like, I don't know, cable or satellite. That's what I'm looking for in a sports package. So I thought that was interesting that happened over the last few days. And, of course, I saw where fans' first day was pretty big, good turnout for that. So that was fun. And then, of course, we had soccer for the Thundering Herd, both men and women. And if you are following along at home, they've got soccer coming up. And I believe I saw where it's going to be free admission. If you haven't checked in yet to get soccer tickets, I'm not talking about, I think, the game tonight, if I saw it correctly. The deal there is that if you are going to soccer tonight, I think they had a change in format. And so the deal is you get free admission, taking on Radford tonight. And that's going to be what they call the fans' first game. There's going to be like a party on the plaza. So that's going to be interesting as well. And they had a great crowd on Saturday. I mean, we're talking about basically a preseason exhibition game, and fans were out in full force for that. And that was pretty cool to get to that point. I mean, kind of that's a selling point. You can look to that crowd and show people like, hey, look, this is a game doesn't even count. Technically a friendly, right? And look at the crowd here. Look at how many people are showing up for this. I'm using that all over. The only thing that Chris Grassi could probably do better for Marshall soccer is get that turf changed over to natural grass. And then I think he would be in heaven with the way things are going for the Thundering Herd. So that was exciting, but I was looking over the schedule for basketball, and again, we got a lot of things to get into. There's so many things to try to catch up with. Looking over the basketball schedule, it looked pretty solid. I was pretty happy with that. Again, that's the conference side of things. I'm still waiting for the full-fledged, hey, here's the entire conference and non-conference slate. And you got the game on New Year's Eve at home against Georgia State. That's going to be fun. The one thing that I guess I know why, because you got to front load some of this sometimes or you back load it. But in January, you've got 5 home games. And, of course, one of those is going to be paired with that New Year's Eve game. But you've got in January 4 home games in conference. And then in February, you've got 4 road games and 3 home games. I guess it does balance out, but after February 4th, the Herd's going to be on the road until a home game on February 24th. I don't know if I'd like to just see a split there, because these are split up in, you get the 11th and the 14th, that trip, and then you get home, and then you got to go right back at it and do it again on the 19th and 21st. I don't know if I would just prefer a traditional, you've got a road trip, and then you come back for 2, and then you're on the road for 2, and then you're back for 2. I don't know if I would just prefer that as more of a schedule format than they're home for 4 straight, but they're going to be, and really if you look at it after January 24th for the men, Marshall will have 6 games on the road, 4 at home, but those 4 will be January 24th, and then 2 on the road, February 4th, and then 4 on the road, and then 2 at home, which I guess that's a good thing. You get to end the regular season at home, and then you get off and head over to the conference tournament, and hopefully the Thundering Herd's the number 1 seed. That's what we're hoping for, at least with this crazy bracket that basketball has come up with. So that was interesting. Flip for the women, of course, because again, I don't think we really appreciate how this conference breaks down. I mean, at least for the women, it's a better mix. Now, they've got that 4-game road trip in the middle, January 15th and 17th. That's the pairing there. And then the 22nd and the 24th, that's the pairing there. And then at least it's a little bit more sensible. 2 home games, 28th and 31st, a road game on the 4th, and then you've got 2 games on the 12th and 14th, and then the 22nd with the 2 road games in the middle. Now, I say all of this, and I know I haven't mentioned the fact that Marshall's also in the MAC Sunbelt Challenge, and that factors into this because UMass is on November 3rd. So we know that. And then the next game, and there's a reason why here. Marshall takes on Southern Miss on the 4th, and then Marshall does have a home game. It's just not in the conference side of things. And that's on February 7th, and that'll be to be determined. That's the TBD game because we don't know how the pairings will go just yet. But at least that's a home game. So you sort of do have that home cluster. But if you look at it just from the conference standpoint, the Herd's going to be on the road a little bit more on the February side of things. And then, of course, we'll get a new athletic director on the job sooner than later. I'm excited about that. And I saw the contract details. Now, those things are kind of interesting. I mean, at the end of the day, do we really care about the contract? Yes, we do, actually. That's something that we can honestly say. We care about the contract details. And so when this came out the other day, College AD had the details of Gerald Harrison's contract. It's going to go through August 15th, 2030. So there you go, August 15th. That's the date. That's the date I was kind of projecting. He's going to earn $375,000 annually. And then he's got a buyout. Marshall's got that covered. It's $75,000. That's it, $75,000 buyout. And Marshall will cover that, write that check, and then that'll go off to Austin Peay. And then here are some of the bonuses. $10,000 annually in academic-related bonuses. So you wonder why former athletic director Christian Spears was pushing academics. Well, one, that was kind of in his DNA originally when we first spoke to him and met him, but there's also a financial bonus to that. That's important, and this is kind of a way to kind of motivate that a little bit. I'm not saying that he wouldn't be focused on this to begin with, but hey, oh, by the way, there's a motivator here. And that's what that is. $10,000, that's a motivator. And academic-related bonuses. And that's up to. So, you got to hit certain benchmarks. And then you've got $20,000 annually in fundraising-related bonuses. So if you meet certain goals, certain benchmarks, there's going to be a little kickback there as well. And then you've got $65,000 in athletic-related bonuses. What's that mean? Well, that's just how successful the team is doing, football side, basketball side. Same thing with coaches. Hey, you make it to this level, you get this. You make it to a bowl game, you get this. You make it to the playoffs, you get this. You make it to the national championship game, you make this. Sort of a structured bonus. Hey, here's some of the goals you're shooting for. Now, if something should happen and Marshall and A.D. Harrison decide, this isn't right, this isn't working, depends on who wants out. If Marshall wants out with Harrison, and this is without cause, in the first year of the contract, he's going to be owed $1.875 million. $1.875 million. And then that drops to $1.5 million, and then $1.125 million, and then $750,000, and then that drops down to $375,000 each year, respectively. And then the buyout's going to be due. You terminate 30 days. Now, that same buyout structure is in place for Harrison should he step down. He wants out. All right, that's going to cost you a little under $2 million. And then it shrinks a little bit. Hey, you get a big time offer, and that's sort of incentive. Hey, we want you to stay around. If we decide that we don't want to commit to you, we're going to pay you. If you decide you don't want to commit to us, that's fine. You got to pay us. But also, I feel like that's a security blanket to a degree. And if a major program, Power 4 program, comes knocking and says, hey, you're doing such a fantastic job at Marshall, we want you to be our next athletic director. And depending on how soon that call comes, if that call comes, this is the buyout. And so I think it's fair. It's structured a little bit. Early on, give him some opportunity to get his feet on the ground, get to work. If he's super successful, obviously there's going to be people making that phone call. Hey, you're doing such great work at Marshall. Can you come here and do that as well? And then, of course, Marshall will be owed some financial, I don't want to call it a penalty. Hey, here's the buyout. That's great. Congratulations. People are talking about it. But at the same time, you got to pay us. So let's get the text line going, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We'll hit the old Twitter X. I stayed off of that. It was very, very easy, actually. I turned off the notifications for one. Done. Whatever happens, happens. I had the news app on. Okay, if something major happens, like breaking news, something like that I need to know about, that's fine. But other than that, I turned just the notifications off, and you should try that. I'm not going to lie. That felt good just to go about my day, and I'm not looking at my phone as much. It was really nice, and I'm going to try that more. Now, someone asked me, it's like, hey, how do you, shouldn't you have that on at all times? I'm like, hey, look, it'll be there when I get to it. It will not go away. I'm fine. It'll be right there when I check it, I don't need to be buried in that. And honestly, I feel really good about it my focus is a little bit better because I'm just not constantly looking at notifications. Now, with that said, I'm going to have to turn them on here real soon. So, and I've got them up now, 304-396-TALK. On X, you can find me at Paul Swann. A couple people have already said hi back to me. Let's see. On X, Marco Mitch. I always like that name, Marco Mitch. Welcome back. Herd Athletics is nearly all the way back. Can't wait. Also, Go Herd Please Don't Die follows me and says, we knew you couldn't stay away. Yep, couldn't do it. Got a week. I'll have to take another one here soon. I've got to use them or lose them. And let's see. Oh, that was nice. Someone sent me a happy birthday message while I was away. I was away. I didn't plan it that way, but, it was my birthday last week on Fans First Day. I just had to get that weekend, so I was off that day, and thank you. I appreciate that for the happy birthday wish. It was nice. It was good. I got a lot of actually people texting me in messages. It was really nice, so I appreciated all of that. And, of course, we will hear from you when we continue with our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Hey, I see the AP poll is out, the preseason poll, and those things are useless, but we got it. It's out, and now people can complain about it, and we'll talk about that also when we continue on today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Think summer. Think sunshine. Lake days, beach trips, and all that sand, salt, and grime clinging to your car. That stuff doesn't just look bad. It can dull your paint, cause scratches, and even lead to rust. Protect your ride and keep it shining all summer long with a trip to Thoroughbred Express Auto Wash. Fast, easy, and built for real clean. Find a location near you by getting started at thoroughbredexpress.com. Join the winner's circle with Thoroughbred Express Wash, where your summer starts sparkling.
Buddy's All-American Barbecue is now in Milton. Enjoy all your favorite Buddy's classics like pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more on East Main Street in Milton. Buddy's All-American Barbecue, the home of great barbecue, ice-cold beer, and killer wings in Huntington and now in Milton.
I'm Nori, and when I was young, my mom opened our home to someone who needed a secure and safe place. She taught him what it was like to have someone care about you, having dinner at home or going out to eat together.
In West Virginia, families open their homes every year to adult family care.
Some folks need a little extra help, but everybody deserves a family.
Call the Department of Human Services and ask to speak to an adult family care home finder at 304-269-6820. Sponsored by the West Virginia Department of Human Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, of the United States U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $1,227,345, with 100% funded by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
My perfect day has sand, salt, water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
These days, you can use propane for so much more than grilling. Propane is reliable fuel for standby generators, furnaces, kitchen appliances, water heaters, and more. Always with cost-saving efficiency and cleaner performance than electricity. Clean energy around every corner. Propane can do that.
The Eric family has been delivering propane comfort across Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia since 1952. Go to ericspropane.com for more information.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talkline, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on with today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Paul Swann here, getting back into the saddle, figuring out which button to push. It's been a week. It's been a long. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Good to be back with you. Let's go to our text line. We haven't done that in a little while. Texter says, Paul, on the AD contract buyouts, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. All in all, I like it. Protects both parties. I agree with that. Appreciate the text. Absolutely. And I found it interesting as well because if you noticed that he's not just the athletic director. Gerald Harrison is vice president and director of athletics. That's a step up. That's not just director of athletics. And I think that's an important note. Why is that important? Well, because he's got more direct contact with the president's office. He's a vice president. So that means you're in the cabinet. You're there. You're not outside looking in. You're not leveled down. You're right there. You're up there. Higher level. So more interaction with the president's office. And I like that. And I feel that makes for a better athletic department if you have more of a partnership between the president's office and the athletic department, especially in these conferences. Of course, the athletic departments and the ADs, they're the ones that are doing the groundwork, and they're the ones that are putting in all the 9 to 5, all the day-to-day work there. And then, they're reporting back to the president's office. But if you've got a president that's collaborating with the athletic department a little bit more directly instead of just the AD reporting back, I feel like you're going to have a little bit more continuity, a little bit more of a structured game plan. I feel that that's important because we need that right now. We need that. We need structure. We need a collaborative process here. And I don't know a single person that can say a bad thing about Brad Smith. I don't know that person. I'm not fishing for it, but I don't know a single person. He's got a game plan. He's got a vision. That's one thing you can say about him. Things are getting done at Marshall University. We've seen progress at Marshall University under Brad Smith, and I think if you translate that to the athletic department as well, I think he wants to see more success and more prosperity with athletics. I mean, we're talking about an incoming freshman class that is, again, was it the largest incoming freshman class? Well, we got like 3 freshman classes in a row where the growth is improved. I mean, that stuff is important to me. On the surface, it's great, and oh yeah, that's cool. But that's really important to me because that means Marshall's growing. And if you are a long-term fan of mine, you've been listening to me for years, thank you for that, first of all. I've talked about that. Hey, how do you grow the athletic department? Well, you grow the university. At the end of the day, that's where you grow this department. You grow athletics through the university. That means more students coming in. That means more emotional investment in Marshall. You get more students coming in. That means you generate more alumni. You get more alumni coming in. You have more opportunities for financial return. Hey, and you got to make it worth. You got to make it worth those individuals wanting to be a Big Green member or give to the university. You want to do that. You got to have some connection there. There's got to be value for them. If Marshall University would call me right now, if I'm a typical, alum, I graduated years ago. Hey, Paul, you're an alum. Hey, good. Hey, we haven't talked to you in a while. Can you give us some money? Yeah, I don't know about that. But if you're engaging, like you're making it worth it for me, and no fan left behind. Can we say that? I mean, I know we're talking fans first here. That's a banana ball term, but no fan left behind. You got to make it valuable for all fans to participate at whatever level. Make them feel invested. So yeah, that kind of stuff is important for me. And so at the same time, I like the fact you've got an athletic director that looks like he is able to move the ball forward. And I'm excited. I can't wait to get to know him better and sit down with him a little more one-on-one. So I'm excited about that. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255 is our text line to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And we haven't done this in a while, so you can also find me on X at Paul Swann, for those of you formerly known as Twitter. And so, hey, what's the big thing today? We have a coaches poll out a few days ago, and now we have a AP poll out. How about that? The AP poll is out, and Texas is the preseason number one, then Penn State. So you're telling me Texas and Penn State, those are the top two teams coming back. Those are the teams. We're going to have the national championship game right now. Texas and Penn State, 1 and 2. Ohio State is third, and I almost want to say that's criminal. Now, with everything that we know about college athletics, nothing stays the same. So Texas comes in at number 1, and the good news is if you hate Texas, don't worry about it, because if you're a preseason top 25 team, you have a tough chance of playing for the national championship or winning it. And then it's Penn State season. Everybody's hopeful. I saw that joke today. That made me laugh. Like, this is the year. This is the season where Penn State fans have hope. But Texas 1, Penn State 2, Ohio State 3, and then Clemson shooting up. And again, I mean, we're talking about preseason, where those teams were last season, end of the year, to now, and Clemson comes 10 spots up to 4. And, oh, by the way, Marshall opponent Georgia, number 5. So when Marshall goes down to Georgia to take on the Bulldogs and wins that game, Marshall will be upsetting a top 5 program. Hey, how about a top five game right out of the gate for Coach Gibson and his squad? Notre Dame is 6, Oregon 7, Alabama is 8. Still, it's weird seeing Alabama not at 1, 2, or 3. And then you got LSU. LSU did not move. LSU was 9th at the end and 9th now. But we can look at this and we can go down the list. Indiana, 20th. They're down 10 spots. Boise State starting at 25, but still in. So here you go. Mountain West represented in the top 25, and that's it. All the other schools are, other than Notre Dame, which is an independent, come from power leagues. Mostly the Big Ten and the SEC. ACC has Miami at 10, and some representation there with Clemson, of course. But that's about it. Big 12, some representation. But it's a Big 10 SEC poll. And then you go down the list and you look at schools receiving votes. And some of them pop out. BYU, the top vote getter, not making the top 25. Utah's in there. Then Baylor, Louisville, Southern Cal. And we're still in double digits at this point. Georgia Tech, Missouri, then Tulane. We know Tulane. Nebraska's in there. UNLV's in there. Toledo receiving some points. They got 13 points. And then Auburn's in there. And then, hey, look, it's James Madison. James Madison and Memphis. Both teams we've talked about. Both receiving 9 points. And then, you know what? Here's a team that received a point that we've talked about. Louisiana Lafayette. Louisiana Lafayette. They received 1 point. Somebody gave them a vote. I don't know if that's somebody that covers the team or what, but there you go. So you want a little Sun Belt representation. Again, this is supposed to be the best of the rest conference. James Madison's in there getting 9 points. And then Louisiana Lafayette at 1 point. I mean, Liberty got 5 points. Colorado got a point. I just want to point that out. Colorado got a single point. Anything shocking? Anything stand out? Anything that we really don't care about? Because, again, it's preseason. But this really sets the tone a little bit. Here we are. I don't think that, and again, it doesn't matter because when the selection committee sits down and puts together its rankings, all of this stuff goes out of the door. It does not mean anything anymore because of the fact that all of that's nullified. We used to be in a world where the AP, that was how we crowned the national champion. AP poll, you're number one the end of the year. AP poll, you're the champ. Of course, sometimes you'd have a split national champion because the coaches poll would go different. And you had a situation like that a few times because, again, sometimes maybe the champ of the coaches poll would not have faced the champ that was designated in the AP poll in the antiquated bowl system. But it's fun to talk about. But, hey, look, no Marshall to be found there. And I saw some grumbling on social, and I was sitting there thinking, come on now. Brand new team. Nobody knows what any team has. Nobody knows which team is going to be good. Nobody knows which team is going to be a tremendous letdown. Texter says, Paul, I don't care what the polls say. Go Herd, beat Georgia. Okay, I like that. Hey, I care, though, because if Marshall wins that game, you get a win over a top 5 team. Hey, that's something you can put on. You can put that on a graphic, a social media post. Hey, only G5 team or G6 team in the Sun Belt to beat a top 5 team this year. Something like that. We got to hit the break. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Get more of your texts coming up on today's edition of The Drive. Our text line brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, hours may vary by location. Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC. Used with permission.
Save big on your next painting project at Menards. Pristine Exterior is Dutch Boy's most durable exterior paint. With its rain rinse technology, rain naturally washes away dirt and grime. Plus, it resists cracking and peeling, making it perfect to withstand the harshest weather conditions. Save big money on Pristine Exterior paint and start your painting project today. Plus, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for more great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
Chronic migraine, 15 or more headache days a month, each lasting 4 hours or more, can make me feel like a spectator in my own life.
Botox, onabotulinum toxin A, prevents headaches in adults with chronic migraine. It's not for those with 14 or fewer headache days a month. It's the #1 prescribed branded chronic migraine preventive treatment.
Prescription Botox is injected by your doctor. Effects of Botox may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away, as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness can be signs of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Side effects may include allergic reactions, neck and injection site pain, fatigue, and headache. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Don't receive Botox if there's a skin infection. Tell your doctor your medical history, muscle or nerve conditions, including ALS, Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects.
Why wait? Ask your doctor, visit BotoxChronicMigraine.com, or call 1-800-44-BOTOX to learn more.
You got your hands
Luke Bryan. Country Song Came On Tour. August 14th, Charleston Coliseum. Luke Bryan with special guests George Bird, Randall King, Mae Estes, and DJ Rock. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Luke Bryan live.
We're with Sue from Sue's Junk.
And every Monday, it's an online sale.
Every Monday night at 6, we go to the store, we pick out 200 items. It's not an auction. I just hold it up, tell you the price, and if you're the first one to enter that number, you win. Come here and pick up your stuff. At the end, we have a cash drawing, so you might win $100.
Sue's Junk and Antique Mall, 459 Camden Road in Huntington. Don't miss Monday's online sale on Facebook.
Head back to school in style with James Family Outfitters Back to School Sale going on now. Step out in style with 25% off sandals, Clark's, Skechers, Spring Step, and Blowfish. 10% off jeans, Carhartt, Ariat, and Timberland Pro. Athletic sandals now 10% off. Under Armour, Sonic, Crocs, Hey Dude, and UFOs. James Family Outfitters has you covered with the best back-to-school deals. Stake your claim. See the folks named James, 507 Caramel Boulevard, Grayson. Visit online at jamesfamilyoutfitter.com.
Hi everyone, I'm Kristen Bell, and I invited you here to my hotel room to talk about your cheeks. Your big, beautiful cheeks. Get your mind out of the gutter, I'm talking about swabbing them. Did you guys know that each year 20,000 Americans with blood cancer are searching for their life-saving marrow match? Can you even believe that? I mean, people need marrow, you guys, and we have it. So here's how we can help. It's really, really simple. All you have to do is swab your cheek, this cheek. Then go to Gift of Life Marrow Registry. It's so easy, anyone can do it. And in case you're wondering, if you're a match, donating, it's a lot easier than you think. So wherever you are, go ahead and swab that cheek. Go to giftoflife.org and get a free kit sent to your home, or find a donor drive in your area so that you can swab a cheek and save a life. It's only a minute of your time, but it can give someone else the rest of their life.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue on with today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930 with our text line brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, did you see the disrespect ESPN gave the Thundering Herd with its rankings the other day? I did see that. Absolutely did see that. I don't know if I'm going to call it disrespect because, again, I mean, what do you know about the Thundering Herd right now? If you are national media, you're looking at, okay, this team brings this amount of players back. This team lost this amount of players. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody knows. Nobody knows if Georgia is the fifth best team in the country. I'm going to say they are. No one knows if Marshall is they were right. Yeah, they have tiers, and I didn't do the math on this, but they were in tier 19. I looked this up. It's tier 19 according to ESPN. The best entertainment you're likely to find on a Tuesday night in mid-November. And the teams that Marshall got grouped with, Central Michigan, ouch, that's painful right there. Delaware, the Blue Hens, again, that's just painful. Eastern Michigan, that's painful. Florida International, really? Jacksonville State, I'm not going to throw too much shade on Jacksonville State. Missouri State, again, I don't know enough about Missouri State to show any disdain or throw shade. Not going to do that. Nevada, Marshall got grouped with Nevada, Temple, Tulsa, UTEP, and Western Michigan. That's it could have been worse, though, because the last tier is tier 20, and those teams are Akron, Ball State, Charlotte, Georgia State, Kennesaw State, Kent State, Massachusetts, Middle Tennessee, New Mexico State, let's keep it in the family here, and Rice. So Rice is probably going to be a perennial tier 20 team. But Marshall got dropped in the tier 9, and it's fine. It's engagement bait, like what we're doing right now. Yeah, I don't know if someone sat there and go, I'm going to disrespect Marshall. I'm going to put them in. It's nobody knows. There's no way to know. But you know what? I'll tell you what I'm doing. I don't know if Coach is this kind of guy, but like, hey, Coach, what do you think? Marshall got dropped in tier 19. This is where ESPN thinks you are. What do you think about that? I don't know if I'm asking that question. We get more important things to talk about. But yeah, that's the question. Hey, what do you think, Coach? You like where Marshall's at right now? ESPN thinks you're like the best entertainment you can find mid-November on a Tuesday night. For one, as much as I think I like midweek football, nobody wants to be associated, unless you're in the MAC and then you don't care. Nobody wants to be associated with a team that is midweek football on a Tuesday. I mean, you don't see the stadiums packed for MACtion now, do you? I mean, it's great for TV. For me, hey, look, there's some MACtion. I'll watch that. But is anyone going to those games? No, you don't want Marshall to be to that point. Absolutely not. That's one thing that I'm happy about for the most part. I'm cool with Thursdays, but unless Tuesday night is primetime real estate and you're getting A1 coverage and everyone's tuning in, thank you, but no thank you. Texture says, Paul, I was at Fans First Day last week and had a great time. The football players at the autograph table, when I thanked them for choosing Marshall, they all smiled and genuinely seemed excited to be here. I look forward to the season. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that comes from the head coach. The head coach wants to be here. I think the players want to be here. Because obviously, you're going to have guys that stick with the program because they love Marshall. They didn't jet to the next thing or bolt with the the previous head coach. When Coach Huff left, a lot of players bolted with him. And that's fine. That's their coach. Okay. They're going to go with him because they think that's what's best for them. And then you had a lot of players who stayed because they felt like, okay, Marshall is the best place for me. And I think you can look at it in similar terms like with Obina Anachili-Killen. He stayed at Marshall because, hey, Marshall's the best place for me. Not the best offer, the best financial package, it's just the best place for me. And so a lot of football players, for Marshall, it's the best place for them. And a lot of other players, they come in and they want to be here. And I think a part of that's because the coach wants to be here. Now, how many of those players would leave if Coach Gibson would ever leave? I don't know. But I would think that at some point you want to get back to the point where you're playing for, cliche as this may sound, hey, you're playing for the school. I miss those days. Hey, I'm playing for Marshall. It didn't matter who the coach was. You're playing for Marshall. Yeah, you want to get it to the point where kids grow up. They think, hey, I would love, a dream of mine would be to play for Marshall. I mean, if you're a basketball player in the state of Kentucky, you're thinking, hey, am I good enough I can play for Kentucky? If you're a football player in the state of West Virginia, are you thinking, hey, if I'm good enough I can play for Marshall? I could play in state. I can play for the Thundering Herd. I mean, you got to get the program to that point where you're attracting the very best because they're trying to be at Marshall. But I do like the attitude that the coach has sort of installed the culture. Hey, if you want to be here, we're going to work hard. This is not going to be easy. You're going to be tough. We're going to play hard. We're going to bring a lunch pail because we're going to be here all day type of deal here. And that's what you're getting right now with Coach Gibson. I mean, he's a straight shooter, no nonsense. I mean, he's not stoic. I think he's got an advantage because we're kind of seeing his personality early. And maybe a little known secret for those of you that maybe shot down Doc Holliday at every chance you could. The guy had a sense of humor. You just didn't see it. It was rare, but you could see it. He had it, and he was personable, but he was also, he was kind of like a put your head down, let's get to work, and let's do football. And then he would, rinse and repeat. And I think that's what kind of doomed him a little bit is people didn't really see the true Doc Holliday, his personality. I think with Coach Gibson, you're kind of getting more of that up front, and that's a good thing. Quick timeout. We wrap this one up. Thanks for being a part of it today on The Drive. ESPN 94.1 in AM 930.
This summer, the fun heats up at Dave & Buster's. Introducing the all-new Summer Season Pass. Your ticket to unlimited gameplay all summer long. Now through Labor Day, choose the Silver Pass for unlimited weekday gameplay and 10% off food and drinks. Just $69.99. You want more? Upgrade to Gold or Platinum for weekend gameplay, up to 30% off food and drinks, and even weekly food vouchers. Don't miss out. Grab your pass today and level up your summer. Blackout dates may apply. Visit DaveandBusters.com for full details. The summer heats up at Dave & Buster's Huntington Mall.
Discover the Tri-State's premier senior living community, Woodlands. Choose from a range of modern living options designed to reflect your unique, independent style. Embrace an active and vibrant lifestyle with plenty of activities, scenic surroundings, and friends to share them with. And rest easy, no knowing your future is secure with Woodlands Life Care Guarantee. Call 304-697-1620 or visit woodlandswv.com and meet your future neighbors and see what makes this community so special. Woodlands Retirement Community. Welcome to the neighborhood.
Hi, I'm Nori, and over the years, my mother and I have opened our homes to those who need it most, and it's been so rewarding. I bet you didn't know that some adults who have unfortunately been mistreated need a place to call home in West Virginia. It happens more than you know. They may have some physical or mental limitations, and they need your help. Everyone deserves a place to call their own. I can tell you from my experience, it's worth it.
If you have an open heart and want to open your home, Adult Family Care may be the right fit for you. Call the Department of Human Services and ask to speak to an Adult Family Care Home Finder at 304-269-6820. Sponsored by the West Virginia Department of Human Services, the West Virginia Broadcasters Association, and this station. This project is supported by the Administration for Community Living, ACL, of the United States, U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, HHS, as part of a financial assistance award totaling $1,227,345, with 100% funded by ACL HHS. The contents are those of the authors and do not necessarily represent the official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL HHS or the U.S. government.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Okay, forest animals, today is a new day. Kids are coming to the forest, and it's up to us to make their visit a good one. Sparrow.
Yes?
Have you practiced the most popular bird songs for the year?
Of course.
Catchy. I like it. Okay, River.
Dude.
How's the temperature?
It's a refreshing 52 degrees, man. Perfect for a little riverside shoeless relaxation.
Ah, good. Owl, you here? Course. Who's asking? I am. Look, you know the drill. Sleep during the day, scare the kids at night. Perfect. I love my job. Oak Tree?
What's up?
Still in the same place I left you last year. That's what I like. Consistency.
Well, it's not like I'm going anywhere for the next couple hundred years.
I know. I love it. Turtle. Turtle.
He's not here yet, man.
He's late every morning. You'd think he would have learned by now to leave the night before our meetings. Okay. Squirrel. Has anybody seen Mr. Squirrel?
The forest has been preparing just for you. Visit a forest near you today. To learn more about cool things to do in the forest, visit discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
How was your day? What did you do in school? I'm Dale Lee, president of the West Virginia Education Association, and these 2 simple questions can encourage learning in your home. Showing interest and asking about the school day can help motivate your children and keep them excited about learning. So stay involved, stay curious, and ask specific questions. Student success involves the whole family.
A message from the West Virginia Education Association.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
Do it. Do it right now. At Paul Swann. Hit that follow, like, subscribe button. Do it right now. Welcome back. It is The Drive. I am the aforementioned Paul Swann here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We get about a minute to go, so put that in your phone right now. Have it ready. We'll be using that number all season long. I will be back with you tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Baseball action coming up tonight. Pirates taking on the Brewers. 7:40 will be first pitch. We go on the air 7:15 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Phillies taking on the Reds tonight at 6:10. It will be the Twins and the Yankees coming up tonight. Tigers, White Sox. That should be interesting. White Sox are 43-75. Tigers are 68-51. That's going to be ugly. Good talking to everyone again. Thanks for being a part of it. Looking forward to being with you again tomorrow. And don't forget, as I just mentioned a moment ago, if you would, I would appreciate it if you would follow, like, subscribe, whatever it is, on X at Paul Swann. Also, you can find me on various social media networks. All you have to do is head over to my X profile, and I link out to everything. So if you're doing something different, like you're on Threads or Blue Sky, I'm there. And podcasts, always the latest episodes available for free when uploaded at our podcast page. You can start at our website if you want to get the subscription link at WRVC.com. Thanks for tuning in. Back with you tomorrow. Until then, have a great night.
Broadcasting from the Dave & Buster's studios. Eat, drink, play, and watch at Dave & Buster's in the Huntington Mall. ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. WRVC, W231BS Huntington.